welcome back to the outdoor kitchen. Welcome back to Nonno's Kitchen. So today I'm going to be making a baked rigatoni. I have my 30-minute tomato sauce, which I made yesterday. I've got 4 cups here. I don't think it's going to take that much, but that's what I have right now. We'll get an exact measurement. I just put a pound of rigatoni in boiling water that's been salted with sea salt, and I have a heaping tablespoon of sea salt in here. This is a good opportunity to flavor up the dry pasta. I've got some fresh rosemary, and I also have fresh thyme that I harvested. I've got a pound of ricotta cheese. To that, I have 1 egg beaten up. I added a 1/4 cup of Locatelli Romano cheese. I probably have a tablespoon of fresh thyme that I added in here, some fresh ground black pepper, and just a little bit of rosemary. I also have a 1/2 pound of grated mozzarella cheese that'll be going in, or actually this will be on top. So, just going to make sure I stir my pasta along the cooking process. It says it's got 12 minutes cooking time. I've set my timer for 10. I'll test it probably at about 9 minutes. I want to cook it al dente. This way the noodle still has some ability to absorb some of the flavors of my tomato sauce and the cheese. I start out by putting about 1 cup of tomato sauce in the bottom of my tray. Once the pasta is cooked, I'll drain it and I'll dump it right in here. I'm not going to rinse it. You never want to rinse your pasta. There's a lot of starches that are on it. And the goal is I want to get my pasta in. I want to mix it with my tomato sauce so I can get the tomato sauce inside the pasta. Then I'll put in my ricotta mixture and I'll mix that up. So again, the goal is to get that cheesy, tomatoey sauce mixture into the center of the rigatoni, and we'll add some other seasonings along the way. We'll top it with a layer of the grated mozzarella cheese, and from there I'm going to call it par bake it for about 20 minutes or so. This is for dinner tomorrow. So again, we're cooking ahead here. So I'll come back in a few minutes when the pasta is cooked to al dente. So we're right at just at 10 minutes. I've tasted the pasta, the rigatoni, and it's cooked right where I want it. It still has a little more cooking to do. Just going to drain it right here over the pot. You can see how the noodle has expanded in size. We're going to put that right into our baking dish. Normally I'd be cooking this in an enamel coated cast iron baking dish, but again, this is going to be traveling tomorrow, so I wanted to use something that I could dispose of. So right now my goal is to try and get the pasta coated with the tomato sauce. Even when I'm making pasta just as like a spaghetti dish, I always add my pasta to sauce, and I like it to be coated and absorb some of the tomato sauce. So I don't like to put it on top and have some noodles that don't have any sauce on it. That's a no-no. I'm gonna add a little more sauce. So I started out with a cup. There's another half. And again, what I'm looking to do is get every noodle covered with some sauce. And it's already starting to work its way inside the noodles. It just takes a minute. You have to have a little patience. This is really worth the effort in the long run. All right, I'm going to add in one more half of a cup. So I'm at a total of 2 cups of sauce. And this is my 30-minute Italian tomato sauce that I made yesterday. There's a video on that, so you ought to head over to my YouTube channel and check it out. Cooking with Nonno. Alright, so I'm happy with the way that looks. Now I'm going to start to incorporate my ricotta cheese mixture. And again, we're going to do that a little at a time. And the goal is to slowly work it all over every noodle and as much as possible inside each and every noodle. I'm going to take the opportunity now to just sprinkle in a touch more rosemary, not too much. It's always about building in layers of flavor. That's how I like to cook. And while we're on the subject of cooking, please don't get hung up on my recipe, what ingredients I'm using. The beauty of cooking is use what ingredients you like, as little or as much as you like. Take some liberty with recipes. I loved finding a really good recipe and maybe changing it up a bit, or sometimes there's nothing to do. It's everything that I love. So don't get so hung up on following a recipe to a T. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's not a must. Enjoy the process. Get creative. Got to be careful. I usually have a noodle that flies out. So I don't know if you can see that on camera, but the sauce and cheese are starting to work its way into the rigatoni. I'm going to add a little bit more. So looks like we'll get this in 3 batches. So why I like to do this is you're starting to see how well all of the rigatoni is getting coated, and the sauce and cheese is making its way inside each and every noodle. This is really key. And I said earlier that I'm going to pre-bake it. And the reason for that is it helps really set the baked rigatoni, and that gives you the ability to either reheat the whole tray, or when it's just Stacy and I'll cut it down the middle, make nice squares. You can vacuum seal these, you can store them in the freezer, and the day before you want to eat it, you take it out of the freezer, stick it in the fridge, and you've got a delicious home-cooked meal. From there you can add a side of sauteed greens, a nice salad, and you've got a healthy dinner in no time at all. So the next day after I refrigerate this, it's really set. So that allows you to then portion it up if you'd like to do that. All right, I'll be back in a minute once I finish this. So I'm just adding my final pinch of rosemary. Boy, does that smell good. Chef's getting hungry over here. All right, I think we're ready. Those noodles have lots of sauce and cheese inside the middle. We're perfect. All right. Now we're going to top it with a little bit of the mozzarella. Again, this is a half a pound. Now, I know a lot of my friends and followers are on a plant-based diet. So, instead of using the ricotta, you could use a cashew sauce. Make a cheesy cashew sauce. You could top it with a plant-based cheese. They do have plant-based mozzarella cheese. One day I'll actually film a episode of Cooking with Nonno with a plant-based baked rigatoni. My family likes the cheese. This is a favorite. We don't have it often, so it's a treat. And again, I'm trying to spread this out evenly. I do have my oven preheating. The convection oven is set at 425, so I'll be ready to bake it off in just a little bit. Let me just give my hand a quick rinse. Okay, just a touch more of the Romano cheese. I just want to sprinkle a little bit over the top. This is my favorite cheese. I could do without the mozzarella. This is one that, for me, when I make my Neapolitan pizza, if I just put the fresh tomatoes with basil in this, that's my preference. What do we have over here? That's for Nonno. Gotta eat, right? All right. Now, the way I like to finish this, over the top, some of this oregano. It is so fragrant. So, just a little sprinkle. A little bit over mine. Maybe a lot. I like this. Oh, someone's trying to escape. All right. I'm going to put this in the oven. We're actually up to temperature, so I'm going to go ahead and bake this off 20 to 30 minutes. And we'll come back and I'll show you how this looks. Yeah, we'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, so it's been just about 30 minutes. I cleaned my dishes up, keep a clean kitchen here. And I got in a 12 set back and ab workout, so I'm a little winded. Remo wanted to say hello, right? Look in the camera, say hello, go ahead. All right. Let me put them down and I'll show you what we got. All right. That's my portion. Hope you can see it. It's really hot, just came out of the oven. We'll give that a try in just a minute. Now again, we're going to be reheating this tray. So let's take a look at how that baked up. Hopefully I don't pull any cheese off. Nope, yeah, a little bit. Let me disconnect the camera here. So bear with me for 1 second here. There's my lunch. I might just eat half and Save half for Stacy. There is the tray. Not the best lighting. Tomorrow when we cook it at the end, the last 10 minutes, we will uncover it and let it brown up a little bit. But I promise you, that's about as good as it gets right there. So, again, I've had requests for my baked rigatoni, baked ziti, depends on the pasta you're using. We used the rigatoni today, and I hope this inspires you guys to cook. I know we're all busy, but I think today with the virus going around, living a healthy, wholesome lifestyle is more important than ever. So, thanks for watching Cooking with Nonno. And I'd really like some feedback, so if you guys like what I'm putting out, please give me a thumbs up and also subscribe. I think I have 14 followers, so I'm not killing it by any means, am I? Anyway, the main reason I do this is I'm documenting for my family some of the recipes that I've made over the years, and my nephew Camden, he loves watching these videos, so I think if it was up to him, I'd film one every day. I just don't have enough free time. But my goal is to do at least one a week for Camden and anybody else that enjoys watching. Well, I'm going to go in and get a bite. You know I'm going to burn my mouth, right? This is going to hurt. The things I do for you guys, I gotta taste it. Oh, wow. It's very light. It's almost misleading. You all saw how much of the ricotta mixture. We used 2 cups of the 30-minute Italian tomato sauce. But it's really light. There's not a lot of heavy cheese in here. And, well, I gotta tell you, I hope I can control myself and save half for Stacy. All right. Ciao. Woo. I'm hot.